So I went to IIT Madras in 2008. Uh, my All India was 730. I got into electrical engineering over there. Then I naturally ended up didn't liking academics much. I was part of a couple of clubs, Robocon and stuff like that. In my second year, similar to ESL, we have a center in IIT Madras where I got to know about the potential of technology, entrepreneurship, and all of that. Uh, yeah, so that way college helped me a lot in giving awareness. Also, I had like right set of friends who are either my wingmates in call home in hostel or my classmates with whom I had very elaborate discussions and stuff. So I thought starting up was a better idea and stuff like that. And generally, I was very passive towards academics. So everything has it. I started a company called Desto in college. Post which after one and a half year, I sort of dropped out of college and started pursuing entrepreneurship full time. Back in 2011. So yeah, so since 2011, I'm an entrepreneur. In the middle, after a startup failure, I went and picked up a job. Uh, After that, I started up again. I have seen both highs and lows in terms of I mean, I raised $1 million in funding for a couple of ventures. At the same time, I lost a couple of ventures and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's broadly my story. You know of Swiggy, Zomato, and Amazon, for example, right? So fundamentally, what happens is in e-commerce place, mostly one or two big companies raise a lot of funding, and they end up being one go-to place for all the customers to go and buy stuff. And in the marketplace business model, on a one end you have customers like you, on other end you have suppliers who actually make these products and give it to the marketplaces, right? So the same is with Ola. If you take Ola too, you are looking for a cab, and somebody else is actually driving the cab on the road, and your Ola or Uber app is basically taking care of the fulfillment or connection between you and him. So that's the primary value add of marketplaces. All these business models are called marketplaces. People also call them aggregators because they aggregate all the demand and they aggregate all the supply and become one single middleman in between. So I mean, it works great, right? In the sense, as aggregators came about, the internet penetration in India sort of went to next notch because obviously our users were not using internet. Then I'm sure all of you have experience with discounting on Swiggy, Zomato, Uber Eats, Ola, and stuff like that. So they raise huge venture capital money and they discount the customers and make sure all customers only come to them. Because all customers only come to them, all suppliers also will go to them, and they become the ultimate commanding officer of this whole game, right? Yeah, like I said, there are many positives to this game in a sense. Um, Internet penetration happened because of them. Customer experience will be taken care of because these people say customer experience is our prima facto. But suppliers get affected a lot in a sense on each ride. If you're paying 200 rupees to Ola, for example, the Ola cab driver, the Ola takes 25% cut. Now it is increased to 30%. So it's like at the end of the day, what is the value, real value Ola is adding, except for a handshake between the customer and supplier, right? Similar to how Swiggy and Zomato works. Yes, they do the fulfillment of delivery, but today all the cooking, ingredient procurement, branding, everything is being done by the restaurant. But Swiggy takes 30% to do a 3 kilometer delivery. In spite of the fact that per kilometer delivery costs about 12 rupees on an average. That's what they pay the delivery boy. So what happens is when somebody becomes so big that all customers go to them and all suppliers are dependent on them, these people become incredibly powerful that they can make any decision and everybody else have to follow it. In the sense, they can increase the commissions, they can kick out somebody from the network, they can block a supplier from doing some kind of discounts, or they can also show favoritism in terms of a few suppliers who are close to me will sort of go up in the network, or they can start their own supply. For example, like Amazon Basics, or in the case of Swiggy, you would have seen Bowl Company, Homely, all the Swiggy cloud kitchens, right? Own brands. So yeah, so essentially the idea is suppliers suffer in this whole game. And yeah, the point is suppliers can suffer. The reason is, they didn't adopt themselves to the changing needs of the internet. For example, they wouldn't do customer support properly. They wouldn't adopt internet properly. They will not publicize themselves on the internet properly and stuff like that, right? But then their vulnerability cannot be an opportunity to somebody else. So Coids.org is essentially about building tools for supplier to go and do business for himself. Our first product is a link which we are giving to all the restaurants for free, where they can set up the link. They can only circulate this link on WhatsApp and a couple of other places, and get orders. So that's pretty much it, basically. In the sense, that is the first product. The ultimate bet is on the fact that if WhatsApp-based commerce and Instagram, Facebook-based commerce takes off, which is projected, suppliers will get their power on doing business. And suppliers are not able to join the internet wave in the early stages when Swiggy, Zomato, Uber and Ola and Amazon came in. But with this, suppliers can directly join the internet wave next. They are realizing what they lost because they didn't make a move early on. Now we are assuming that they will make a proactive move and take control for themselves. So this is the whole premise of Coids, essentially giving technology to suppliers. It's a pro supplier platform where suppliers can service their customers and keep control of their business. That's basically it. Yeah, so I mean, this one came out of inspiration from my previous company at which I failed. I raised a lot of money, but I failed. It's called Food Street. We are a cloud kitchen company. You would have heard of cloud kitchens. Cloud kitchens are nothing but a kitchen only operation where we sell food only online. So essentially, a cloud kitchen depends completely on Swiggy and Zomato or platforms like that to do business, right? So yeah, so I mean, I personally had a really bad experience in 2019 since Swiggy and Zomato were offering discounts to the customers and then penalizing it on the restaurants for their own advantage of gaining market share. And the customers, on the other hand, are if for customers it's completely logical, right? In the sense, they get something for lesser cost, they go for that, but they wouldn't understand who is being penalized for that and who is changing the power dynamics in the market for this sort of an unfair structure, right? So yeah, I mean, I had a really bad experience in 2019 Swiggy and Zomato where my profitable company ended up being loss making, and I had cash flow issues. And by the time 2020 COVID hit, I ran out of cash and I had no option but shut down my company because this is an operations heavy company, right? So I mean, I am the person who faced the problem because of these guys firsthand, and that's the reason I choose to solve it in the next startup. I mean, the reason it also is sort of good time for me to launch is COVID, because earlier restaurants used to get a lot of offline sale, right? Along with that, they used to get online. And when Swiggy and Zomato are taking away 30% or discounting on behalf of restaurant and doing discounting games, even the restaurants made a loss. They didn't really feel the pinch because offline business is not there. Now that offline business itself sort of slumped, everybody is wondering, what do I do now? What do I do now to really rescue my business and sort of rebuild myself and stuff like that? So that's the reason, I started this company as a .org. When everybody is suffering, you want to save them, right? So that's why it's a .org with all free tools. And I mean, I'm just giving a tool for them so that if they want to recover themselves, they can, right? So yeah, I think I am working a lot on the awareness. Our team is also working on it, talking to multiple restaurants every day, educating them. We are participating in webinars, conferences, mostly online, obviously, and stuff like that. So to sort of tell people what they have to do, right? So my agenda is to, in the next 3 to 6 months, if I can kickstart a movement among restaurants saying, hey guys, I mean, there's this new company called Coids, which is putting power in our hands. This is what we need to do. If I can make all restaurants realize that, that's when I see this going very big. In the sense, The idea is that see, when you are dealing with powerful people, right, in life in general, right, what happens is, I mean, for example, if a group of your students are dealing with your campus management, for example, or any group of people dealing with powerful people have an inherent advantage, right, to tell who is right and who is wrong, or to reward or not reward somebody, or to incentivize certain behavior and not. So the thing is, the power also sustains from the ability to sort of pick and choose from whom they want to reward, whom they want to promote, whom they want to put down, and all of that. That's how the power also propagates, because power is essentially given to them by a lot of these people. So in case of restaurants, what is happening is, right, Swiggy is a platform, but everybody is like, okay, fine, if I fight with these platforms, they will come and sort of help my competitor, and I will sort of lose out. There are many of these short-term worries, while they lose focus on what is happening to the overall industry in the long term, right? So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. In the sense, when I say unity is honor, I am essentially saying, hey guys, you have to sort of start understanding the situation and start taking control of your business, all of you together. Which means, if one of you get a different offer from the powerful guy, or whatever, you have to stick to certain core principles together and help each other. That's the way. That's the only way to mitigate this in the long term. You might see some short-term profits or stuff like that because of lack of unity, but it will only bite you back eventually. So because it will bite you back eventually, the only way to sort of lead a honorable life is being united and sticking to the philosophy of not taking control of your business into your hands, using your own tools instead of depending on an aggregator platform, which I think is very much possible. In a sense, every restaurant has their own loyal customers. Every restaurant, when they see the customers, they can tell the customers, hey customer, if you're ordering from me again when you're not here, please order from my link. That way I'll get more money, right? You would have seen Ola and Uber drivers asking you, can you cancel the ride and I'll take you there, and can you pay me directly? It's the same thing, right? Essentially, why do they want to do that? They want to do that because they feel Swiggy and Ola and Uber are taking a lot of commission. Here also it's the same, in the sense, if I give a new tool to the restaurant will find ways and means to convert his favorite customers to come to him. That's the idea. In the sense, all of them have to do it together, and all of them doing together is the only way to protect their own honor and their own creativity to serve the market in the future. Otherwise, you will end up with a digital dictator who is deciding how much you get paid and what you're doing with your life, basically. That's not capitalism, right? Capitalism means you have to be creative, you want to solve some problems, and if you do all of those things, you will get rewarded. Capitalism is not building barriers for other people not to come into the game. So yeah, so I think this micro entrepreneurship is what we need to encourage in our country. That's what can move the country forward, not one big guy making all the rules.